Levels.
Levels. Hey, so are you ready to go?
Yeah. Sorry. Don't mind me. I'm just eating a talking to Todd cookie left over from ToddCon 3 here.
Are those the ones from your cookie guy?
Yes. Yes, I have a cookie guy and I have a bounce house guy.
I bet you they should meet because you really don't want crumbs in the bounce house. But anyway,
It's
hey,
no.
so can you just finish up so we can get started with the podcast?
Sure. One more bite here. Okay. That you know what? That reminds me of a story.
Okay, are you sure you don't want to save it for like the main show?
No, I don't know. Now's as good a time as any.
Okay, I apologize ahead of time, toddlers. Please go ahead.
So so Amy and I are in Peoria helping Lucas move last weekend. Right after ToddCon, we got up at early on Saturday morning and drove over to Peoria right after ToddCon. And so I took extra cookies with us over to Lucas and Hannah, thinking, because they listen occasionally, very occasionally, and their friends, I think they listen ironically,
All counts as downloads.
right? Right? Like Liam has Lucas's friend Liam has a talking to Todd keychain that he carries around with him all the time.
Perfect.
And Liam's girlfriend came to the house for, have I told you this?
No.
Liam's girlfriend came to our house as part of the State Fair Bradley Kids trip that they make every year. It's the first time we've met Liam's girlfriend. Very nice kid, right? And Liam's keys are sitting on the counter, and I'm like, "Oh, you still have the keychain?" And he's like, "Yeah, see?" And he turns to the girlfriend and says, "See, you were asking about this. You see the guy on the left there? That's..." She's like, "Hey, that's you. The man, the myth, the legend." I'm like, "No." But yes. So Lucas's friends ironic listen, right? Whatever.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, so I took them.
Okay. So tater salad. Let's get back to
Sorry. Yes.
it.
Oh, I told you that story. So I took extra cookies for Lucas's friends.
Yeah.
And we're driving along in Peoria, and there was a homeless guy with a sign standing on the corner with a sign that says anything helps. And I'm like, "Oh, I've got these extra cookies." And he did say anything. I could give him a talking to Todd cookie. And then Amy and I have the imaginary conversation that inevitably ensues when I hand him this cookie. "Well, what's this from?" "It's from my podcast." "You have a podcast?" "Why, yes, I do." "Who's Eli?" Hi, toddlers. Welcome to Talking to Todd, a weekly podcast with Dwayne Johnson and Todd Prinz, where failure and cookies always an option. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Todd.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Not too bad. Just hunkered down inside as we have a August heat wave, so just not spending a lot of time outside. Yeah.
How can you tell?
Oh no, you can tell.
Oh, okay.
Nope. It's noticeable. You go out and you're like, nope,
Nope.
that's hot. But at some point, numbers are irrelevant. You can tell. So
You can tell? So you can tell the difference between 107 and 112?
you kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's mostly the how long do you think basically it is how long can you sit outside on the couch before going, what am I doing with myself?
But it when the air conditioning can't keep up and can only keep it down to 90, keep it to 92. Then when you come back inside, you go, oh, thank God.
Well,
92. Whew,
well,
wonderful.
we fixed that. That's why we have. That's why we have multiple cooling sources in the house. Trust me, that's not a problem.
Have you heard the good news about mini splits?
I know. I'm here to tell you about it. And then you hook that up to solar, and the good news is normally when it's really hot, the sun's really shining. So we just it's a virtuous cycle at that point.
You're just making money.
I wouldn't say that, but especially if the IRS is listening, I'm not making money. But anyway, yeah.
Should we do some feedback, follow up, and updates?
Yeah, let's do that.
So from toddler number 1,
Yep.
from the last live show that we did,
Yes.
or nothing's live, in person, the
Yes.
in-person recording, last week's episode.
Around the Buffalo Trace barrel table.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, when you guys do that, toddler number 1, when you guys do that, you need to go back in and add back in the sounds, because the soundboard isn't cutting it. Okay. She's not wrong. Yeah.
That was also the first piece of feedback from Lisa. Like, what's going on with the sounds? Because the all of the music seemed to be clipped.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, there's some silence things or whatever. And she's like, yeah, that doesn't work. No, she also said by the end of it, she said, wow, that was short. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. She goes, no, I understand. I'm not complaining. That's simply an observation. Actually, she did point out, maybe you have about 30 minutes worth of content. If you're lucky, you've got 30 minutes. That was a nice, tight show that kept moving. Sometimes your segments go on and on. So, for instance, like there was this one time. No, just kidding.
So I told you that story, tater salad.
Yeah,
thank you.
right.
Yes. Yeah.
So anyway, it was a short show. Fix the music and the sounds, and maybe think about doing shorter shows. Maybe we need, maybe we need to go back to, we just need to both be standing. That's part of it. If we were both standing, maybe we wouldn't be going on for an hour.
But then we wouldn't be sitting corrected.
Yeah, well, pluses and minuses.
I guess. Another piece, this might be a correction.
Okay.
Piece of feedback from toddler number 6.
Yep.
You were talking about the last time Styx played the Iowa State Fair.
According to KCCI.com, yes.
Yes. So in 2012, when it was REO Speedwagon and Styx,
yes,
it was actually just REO. And it was really only about half of their set because the rest of the show got rained out.
Oh.
That feels like feedback that is of a personal nature.
I was going to say, you have to have local knowledge for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So thank you, David. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Did we catch anything else?
Not on feedback. No.
Okay. Did we have any?
Actually.
We did. This will lead into some follow-up.
Actually.
So last week you talked about what was on the Ocho, I believe.
Yeah, blimp racing.
Yeah. So actually, those aren't blimps. Those are semi-rigid airships, sometimes also referred to as semi-rigid dirigibles, but they are not, absolutely, those are not blimps, except that's what everybody calls them, but they're not blimps.
If it looks like a blimp and it flies like a blimp.
I just want to make sure that if we have any airship enthusiasts, that we correct our mistakes before we get the feedback. Now, why do I know that? I stopped asking that question a long time ago, because why do I know most of this stuff?
Yeah. Is this feels like something that Todd ought to know?
Well,
it feels like something Todd does know, but oughtn't to.
Yeah. Well, this leads into follow-up, because last week after we got home, my YouTube feed fed up a video of flying the Goodyear blimp. And Lisa's like, tell me these things don't listen to us. And I said, nobody, trust me, YouTube's not listening to Talking to Todd. It plays it, but it doesn't listen to it. Anyway, that's fine. So I'm like, yeah, I don't know why I saw this, but yeah, you're right. I want to watch it. Click. And so they pointed out in that video, it's commonly referred to as a blimp, but technically it is a semi-rigid airship. So anyway, which then led me down a rat hole of actually understanding the difference between a rigid airship, a semi-rigid airship, and a blimp. You know what? I'm not going to go there. We're going to try to keep this tight. However, if you're interested, more than happy to have a conversation about that. So anyway,
I'm just going to try to get ahead of the feedback here.
Mm-hmm.
In the list of things that are full of hot air,
yeah,
you can include us as well as semi-rigid dirigibles.
Yeah. Yep. So there you go.
Okay.
Any other follow-up?
Yes, I had. We talked about Ms. Swift releasing an album, or announcing, not releasing, but announcing that she's releasing an original album.
Yes.
Did you know?
No. Sorry, just getting ahead of it. Sorry, please go ahead.
On days that Taylor Swift announces that she is going to release an original album, the St. Louis Cardinals are undefeated.
The baseball team?
The baseball team. They are 8-0 because, I mean, she's released more albums than that, obviously, but only some of them have been announced during the baseball season, and only some of those have been announced on days where the Cardinals actually have a game. But for Speak Now, Red, 1989, Reputation, Lover, Folklore,
Yeah, that's different.
That's not folklore, because
nobody's ever heard of we've only heard of the 5-tine fork. We've never actually seen it in the wild. Folklore.
That's folklore. Damn it. Midnights, and now Life of a Showgirl. The St. Louis Cardinals are undefeated. Now, as it turns out, the Cardinals would like it if she would release more albums,
because the season's 162 games long. Yeah. Also, by the way, here's just a little, if this was CBS Cares or NBC, the more you know, or whatever. Here's a quick little public service announcement from Talking to Todd.
Yes.
If you're in the middle of a conversation with somebody and they start throwing out some sort of weird number or stats to prove their point, this could be at the office. This could be maybe around the Thanksgiving table with maybe relatives that have different news sources than you. I don't know. This right here, when you said that, what popped into my mind was correlation does not equal causation. Okay. I'm pretty sure, although not 100% sure, because Ms. Swift does have a lot of cosmic power. That is an interesting correlation between album announcements and St. Louis Cardinal victories, but I'm pretty sure that there is not a causation there. So anyway, if you ever need to say, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense, let me tell you something else that does. How about this stat? It's there for you.
Post hoc ergo propter hoc? Anyone?
Anyone?
12 lawyers in the room?
Because before
something, therefore, because of...
Yeah.
Let's see. Also, this came from the watchful eyes of toddler negative 18. I don't know if you saw. Did you see the story about FDA warns of radioactive contamination in frozen shrimp sold at Walmart?
No, I did not.
This was yesterday.
Okay.
In USA Today, the Food and Drug Administration is recalling frozen shrimp sold at Walmart for possible radioactive chemical contamination. Blah, blah, blah. Advised to recall on August 19th. Blah, blah, blah. Tested positive for cesium 137 or CS 137. You know, the first thing I did? I went to the Can You Lick It chart,
Okay. Jeez.
and that's why this is follow up.
I was wondering. By the way, once again, I'm going to throw it out there. The chart should be titled "Should You Lick It," not "Can You Lick It." You can look. Even the ones where it says "Don't do it," can you? You can.
Technically,
Yeah. Again, should you?
actually,
Yeah. Anyway, so this is cesium 137.
yes, and the answer is you really shouldn't. It's red, by the way, not green, not yellow.
Well,
Red.
that's how they're putting the red. That's how they're making the shrimp look red. No, it's red on
Is
the
the-
chart. It's not. Yeah, that's. I'm going to be honest. I'm just happy. I'm just happy that there's somebody still working at the FDA to issue those kind of warnings. So,
if you're listening to this and you have 2-pound bags of Great Value brand frozen raw easy peel tail on farm raised white Vanamai shrimp and can remember all of that title, you may want to recall them.
on the other hand, a gentleman named Doc Brown would love to get his hands on those to put him in his Mr. Fusion to power his car.
Oh, how about? Well, we don't have any more ToddCons scheduled
Yeah.
at this point,
Yep.
but I would like to do some ToddCon follow up.
Okay. Yep.
First, I'd like to thank everybody that attended
Yes.
because man, it was a lot of fun.
That was a great time. I appreciate everybody taking time to come over and hang out and tell some stories and just generally, yeah, it was just a lot of fun seeing everybody and just having a good time, just kind of sitting around the house. So it was fun.
At one point, toddler number 6 leaned over to me. We were sitting next to each other, leaned over to me and said, "You know, you should have just set a microphone in the middle of this circle and recorded it all."
Two things. One, you still would have had to go back in and put the soundboard sounds in later. Anyway, as we have found out.
As we've learned, yes.
Two, as soon as a microphone shows up, I think half of the stories wouldn't have been told.
I think that's true.
I don't know which half.
So we had dubbed, we dubbed this ToddCon 3 Return of the King because it was your second trip to Iowa in 2.5 weeks.
Yes.
But the week before that, it was ToddCon 3 Pyromania.
Yes.
Because we went to the Def Leppard concert and the third Def Leppard album, Pyromania.
Yes.
For the ToddCon party, Jake, toddler Matt Damon, shows up with pie for Pyromania. Did you realize that?
I did not. No, not until you just mentioned it right now. But I wholly endorse. I wholly endorse that. It was very good pie.
Wasn't it? It was great. Yep.
That does make sense now. Pyromania. Yes.
Thank you, Jake. Yep. For Pyromania. There we go. Yep. Def Leppard review thoughts, or is that in what you learned last week?
Oh no, but well, that was a concert.
There was music and there was an audience.
I am putting down. I don't believe, and I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't believe that the grandstands at the Iowa State Fair are as acoustically tuned as one would hope.
As the auditorium where Def played with the Grand Philharmonic Orchestra?
Yes. I think those have different, I think we would say different acoustic signatures.
I think that's fair.
The large tin roof may have something to do to do with that. It wasn't one of the top performances we've heard from Def. There was some audio challenges. Part of it, I don't know that Joe was at his peak on a couple of the songs, and let's just say they played an eclectic mix of. They're a band with a pretty big catalog of well-known songs, and we
Yes.
heard some of them. We could have heard more, and yet they said, here's some that we just like to throw out, and we're like, okay, that's interesting.
There were some deep cuts.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, they played the mega hits.
Yes.
Foolin',
Ugh.
Animal,
Yep.
Rocket,
Yeah.
Photograph, Hysteria,
Yeah. Sugar.
right? Sugar, right? Yes. They played all of the mega hits, and then they played some others.
Yes. Also, we have joked that for more than a decade, they had not changed their set or any of the graphics projected behind the set. Literally, for more than a decade, it was the exact same show. Somebody in Def Leppard got themselves a $20 a month Chat GPT license and said, give me a background video AI generated for this song, and went, that is wild. Do it again. I don't know what most of that stuff was back going on behind there. I will give them credit. It was new. Somebody spent some money.
It was new.
Lisa leaned over to me in the middle of it after we complained about this for a decade of, when are they going to update this? When are they going to update this? She goes, I kind of miss the old stuff. At one point during one
Play
song,
the hits.
yeah,
Give me the old set.
yeah, that's fine. The entire time there was a leopard running, and I'm just watching this, and I'm like, those are some good looking rosettes on that cat.
Away.
Yep. Yeah.
Thank you, Leopard Trivia.
So we will be seeing them again in February. They're doing a residence at Caesars in the auditorium, the thing that was constructed specifically for Celine Dion.
Oh,
We've seen, I mean, it's a very nice, it has different acoustic signature than the grandstands. We are hoping that maybe it'll go a little, I don't know if we want to say better, but we want to say better.
Praying, really, not just hoping.
That said, you know what? Spending the night, hanging out at the fair, listening to a band. Quite frankly, though, then, I mean, it was the after show. As is the case with most people. It was really the after show. Oh, where'd you guys go to party? Oh, no. You don't understand. I got a funnel cake. That was cool. We bought a couple of nut rolls. You guys got some ice cream?
We got an ice cream bar the size of your head.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
So again, it was like, well, the show wasn't bad. Ooh, funnel cake. Good night. It's a good night.
For dinner that night, as long as we're recounting everything that we ate at the fair, we didn't do day 2. For dinner that night, I had a pork chop on a stick, and me looked at the tenderloin that you guys had the previous day and said, wow, that looks pretty good. Why don't I have one of those? So that's what Amy had, was the tenderloin that you had the day before. It was really good. It was huge. I ended up eating a third of it.
Yeah, I also went. I looked for something new, and I thought, you know what, that tenderloin was good. I made a mistake, however. The previous day, Lisa and I had a tenderloin, and they cut it in half. So that was like, oh, that's a pretty good. So I went and ordered one, and then they handed it to me, and I thought, oh, I have miscalculated.
Uh-huh.
I have made a serious error in judgment. And what I was kicking myself for was the entire time I'm like, should I get fries with it or not? I don't know. And then I'm like, well, now I have like 6 pounds of pork tenderloin in my hand. Thank goodness I didn't order the fries. And I believe Lisa had, was it a hot dog on a stick or it was a corn dog on a stick, I believe.
I believe she had a monster corn dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Which was quite good because she's like, do you want some of this? And I'm like, I'm way too sure. That looks good. Sure. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
She did not make the mistake of taking the stick
Pulled the
out
stick
of the
right
corn
out
dog.
of it and said,
No.
just no, like, hey, the food comes on a stick. It's part of the name.
Use the stick.
Use the stick.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh. I just read what you titled this.
Dwayne's never going to guess it.
Who, me?
Never ever going to guess it.
I don't know.
No, Dwayne's never going to guess it.
Yas Queen?
Never ever going to guess it.
That's right. That music, courtesy of the Dino Toddler, means it's time for Dwayne Guess a Number. Okay, hit me.
Okay, so we get concerns when we start having more than one number. So this is going to be Dwayne. I'm just going to be up front. This is going to be Dwayne guess at least 2 numbers, maybe 3. So I'm setting the stage. Okay.
Depending on how well it goes for Dwayne, sounds like.
Yeah. Okay, so news story came across from 2 weeks ago. Buford High School in Georgia opened their brand new football stadium for this season. So they did a ribbon cutting, whatever, at the beginning of August. Just so that you're aware, Buford High School in Georgia, I think that's a suburb of Atlanta.
Okay.
Enrollment's of 1,900 students or so.
Okay.
Grades 9 through 12. It's a public school. Been around since 1948. But they opened up their new football stadium, and they're pretty proud of their football team. They have won state championships. Just real quick, 2001, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 19, 20, 20, and 2021. So they like their football.
They're the Dowling Catholic of Georgia football.
Of public school. Yeah, anyway, sure. Okay. Dwayne.
Yes.
This football stadium seats 10,000 people. It has a large 2-sided video board, 1,500 premium seats, 15 suites, and a 10,500 square foot event space with a trophy wall to show off all of their items. Dwayne, how much did this football stadium for a public school in Georgia with a tradition of football excellence cost to open?
I'm going to be low, but I'm praying that I'm not. $65 million?
You know what? Give yourself a bell.
Are you kidding me? Wow.
Actual retail value, $62 million. Who says that we don't support public education in this country?
Right?
Yeah,
exactly.
I know, right?
That's what I'm,
Look at
yes.
that. $62 million for a 10,000 seat football stadium. Okay. Good job on that one. Now, I then thought, that's a lot of money for a high school football stadium.
Yes.
But then I thought, I wonder where that ranks as far as expenses for a high school football stadium. So I ended up at Front Office Sports, who went back through and looked at historical reports from WFAA, USA Today, HHS, ABC 13, and more. This was updated as of August 17th, 2024. So this doesn't include the new stadium. So Dwayne, on a top 10, top 20, top 30 list, where do you think a $62 million high school football stadium ranks in the cost of high school football stadiums in the United States as of 2024?
Sadly, I bet it doesn't make the top 25.
Oh, nope. I'm going to give you a hint. It makes the top 10.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
10th?
It comes in, it would be the 8th most expensive high school football stadium.
Jesus. That's still really sad. How much was the most expensive one? Double?
That's an excellent question. Dwayne, for your
Yeah.
third and final number, what is the most expensive high school football stadium for total construction cost adjusted for inflation as of 2024? I'm going to
Texas?
there's an asterisk around number 1, so I'm gonna let you've got some leeway here because of a thing. So
Okay.
how much do you think the most expensive one cost?
I don't know, $85 million.
That would put it 5th. So
Jesus.
so the most expensive high school football stadium coming in at number 1, but there's an asterisk, is the Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton, Ohio.
Oh.
Now,
Well.
right. Now, it's like, well, that's not a high school football stadium, but it is the home football stadium for McKinley Senior High School. But that's why I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Okay. So what's number 2?
Well, adjusted for inflation, that one, which hosts one NFL preseason game a year,
Yes.
that cost $175.8 million to build.
Right.
Yeah. Coming in at number 2, Cy-Fair FCU Stadium, which is home to the Cypress Fairbanks Independent School District in Cypress, Texas. That was built in 2006 and adjusted for inflation, $125 million.
Everything's bigger.
Real quick, just going through the list here, not including the Georgia one. So number 1 is in Ohio. Number 2 is in Texas. Number 3, Katy, Texas. Number 4, McKinney, Texas. Number 5, Allen, Texas. Number 6, Shenandoah, Texas. Number 7, Beaumont, Texas. Number 8, Prosper, Texas. Number 9, Tomball, Texas. That's not even a thing. And number 10, Webster, Texas.
Shocking.
By the way, to get on the top 10 list, if you include the one in Georgia, you would have to drop to get on the top 10 most expensive. You would have to drop $56 million to even get on the top 10 list at this point.
So when the people of Des Moines lost their minds over the Drake/Mediacom stadium that they built next to the Knapp Center at Drake, that is multi-use. So the Des Moines Public Schools play their soccer matches there. Drake plays their home men's and women's soccer matches there. And most of the high school public football, varsity football also happens there for the city schools, for Lincoln, East, North. Maybe North has a team, maybe they don't. Apologies to North. Lincoln, East, North, and Roosevelt that are all playing there. And Hoover, again, ish. That stadium completed in 2023.
Yep.
$24 million. And it's gorgeous.
Yep. I mean, at 24 million, are you even trying?
Right?
There are at least 10 schools in Texas that would look at that and go, man, that isn't a great looking practice facility you have. Where's your real stadium?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so you built that for the JV?
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. The freshman team gets to, have a crowd.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's too small for a JV team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go. As I said, hey, Greg, listen, Greg, stop talking about how public schools don't get any money. Come on.
Right? Seriously.
All right. Where are we at now?
Should we do some idiots?
Yeah. What did you bring?
Last week I brought semi-rigid airships.
Yeah.
I said corrected. This week I was flipping channels. There is seriously nothing on the Ocho. because this week I was flipping channels. You know what? I'm just going to. The pictures didn't really turn out. I tried to take pictures of the screen,
Okay.
and there was too much blurring because this week they were showing pillow fighting.
Oh yeah, yeah. I have seen that scrolling through on YouTube TV. National Pillow Fighting Championship. Nope.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, no, wait, what? Back it up. Really? No, really? They seriously, the Ocho will put and the ring is branded ESPN the Ocho. Amy's like, is this really a thing? I'm like, I don't know. Somebody said it one time and it was apparently funny, and now they've owned it.
They're broadcasting it ironically. I don't even know what that means.
But for the second week in a row, my idiot is the Ocho.
You know, there was a time back in our day that if you wanted to watch pillow fighting on TV, you had to pay extra for that.
Right?
Anyway, never mind. That's
Okay.
yes.
How about you? Who's your Scott Frost idiot?
Well, this is going to make your pillow fighting thing seem like an amazing bit of television. So, Dateline South Korea. Hello. This is out of National Geographic. It talks about Byung-jin Park, who's a 36-year-old entrepreneur and indie punk musician from Seoul, competed with 100 there was 100 total competitors in South Korea's 2025 Space Out competition. What does that mean? It is an annual event where participants are judged on their ability to remain calm and motionless for 90 minutes. No phones, no conversation, no nodding off, just existing. Now, how do you judge? Dwayne's already in competition, or he thinks he's at a movie. I'm not clear which. So, how do you win a Space Out competition?
Yeah.
Participants wear heart rate monitors, and winners are determined through a combination of biometric calmness and audience votes as to who is just sitting there, not doing anything for 90 minutes. Now, Park talks about his winning strategy. He has a strategy, is slow abdominal breathing, focusing on a single point and letting all other thoughts disappear. This has been going on since 2014.
The competition or him spacing out?
I was referring to the competition, not clear on how long he's been doing this non-professionally.
Question number 2.
Yeah. I have a follow-up and probably another follow-up.
What percentage of the participants were male? Because what are you thinking about? Nothing. No, literally nothing. I get it. What, I'm just sitting there. I'm not thinking about anything. What are you thinking about? Nothing. No, really, not nothing? Nothing. No, seriously, nothing. Maybe I should enter this competition.
Well, the headline in National Geographic is, could you do nothing for 90 minutes? In South Korea, it's a sport. You know what? Nobody tell the Ocho. They're like, we gotta give me some of that.
Can you just edit it down to the highlights? And then how can you tell?
Watch right here. Watch right here. Watch.
Oh, he blinks.
Nothing happened. That's amazing. That guy is special.
Ding.
Special.
The pillow fighters could not enter. Just telling you.
By the way, can we jump back up into the midway for just 1 second?
Sure.
because I didn't put it in the notes because I was going to loop back into here. This isn't exactly money or Nazis because, as we've pointed out, it becomes fairly obvious. But earlier we were talking about Goodyear's semi-rigid airships.
Yes.
Dwayne, money or Nazis?
Gotta be Nazis?
Those semi-rigid airships are made by the Luftschiffbau Zeppelin company. Those are technically designated. There's a model of those. If you want to buy one of those, you would open up the catalog and order the Zeppelin NT model. Those are made. Those have a lineage to. It is made by the Zeppelin Corporation, which also may have made a few blimps, which again, none of them were blimps that you may have heard of, including the Hindenburg and the Graf Zeppelin.
The Humanity.
And
during
World War II, they may have also manufactured V2 rockets. But then again, what company in Germany during World War II didn't actually manufacture V2 rockets?
Do you know who Tom Lehrer is? Or I guess was? Do you remember Tom Lehrer?
It was a McNeil Lehrer news report or different one?
Different. So Tom Lehrer was a comedian in the 60s.
Okay.
And he sang a song about Werner
von Braun.
Von Braun, yes.
Yeah. Oh, no, yes. I've heard it. Yes.
When the rockets go up, who cares where they come down? That's not my department, says Werner von Braun. Yes, Tom Lehrer. So he was a college professor who then got sidelined doing this as a humorist, and then eventually went back to teaching. He passed away a couple of weeks ago at the age of, I think, in his 90s. I think I can be safe and not have to have a correction if I say in his 90s. But Tom Lehrer passed away a couple of weeks ago. So if you haven't seen this, I'll post a link because it's really funny and sad.
Of the full song, yes,
the full song.
I know. I've seen it and heard it. Yes, yeah.
Others may not have, so I will post. But yes. Anywho, yep. Made rockets. Yep, that would be Nazis.
Anyway, now they're selling tires. You know what? Good for them. Where are we at now? Now that I derailed us from the finely tuned travel stories. Yes. Hey, remember last week when I told you the travel story on the way out, how the person in the Sky Club was like, "Oh, all of Delta's having problems," and it turned out it was pretty much just her flights.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought I forgot to delete this from last week.
No. This was so that was last week's update. Under one of the things I like to remind myself occasionally before I am reminded of it for me is hubris will be punished. So on Saturday we got to the Des Moines International Airport and then our flight was delayed because there were some thunderstorms going through Minneapolis. And I don't know if you understand. I don't know if everybody understands the Delta route map, but Minneapolis actually has a lot of Delta flights as a hub. So that had ripple effects throughout the entire, which also meant our departure flight was also delayed by a couple of hours. Anyway, we got to spend some quality time in the Des Moines International Airport. The coffee is pretty good in right there in where the main coffee restaurant right there. It wasn't too bad. Yep. And then we got to spend some time in the Good Sky Club. We didn't make that mistake. We had extra time in the Good Sky Club in Minneapolis. Yeah. So, this is a great Sky Club. That's how you remember it. Anyway, so after I mocked this person for, oh dear, your flights are delayed. Then we get to Minneapolis and it's basically like the entire board is just yellow and red. And they're just like, I don't know what to tell you, man. everything's delayed. So I should be more careful about when I start mocking other people's travel issues. We got home a little later than planned. So
Hubris will be punished.
seriously, I on a weekly basis I try to remember. Here's the thing: if I don't remember it, it will be remembered to me. So yes. Anyway, what are you watching this week?
We started watching a new show on Netflix called Hostage.
Okay.
We believe this came from the BBC.
Okay.
And it's a political thriller. It's not exactly a spoiler alert because it's in the log line. The husband of the Prime Minister of Great Britain gets kidnapped. And then there is international intrigue between the British Prime Minister and the French Prime Minister over this recovery. We are 3 episodes into this 5-episode run, which is the part that makes me think it came from the BBC because it's only 5 episodes. The one of the lead actresses was in Vigil.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yep. I'm just looking at the poster right now and I'm like, boy, she looks familiar. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
The brunette, not the redhead, for those of you that are on the audio podcast here.
Yeah.
It's the brunette from Vigil, not the redhead. And the redhead was in something different. Maybe Game of Thrones? I think she was in Game of Thrones. I don't know. I didn't watch it. Anyway, I'm sure Amy could tell me. But yeah, it's the brunette from Vigil. Really good so far. We're not slow binging it. We watched 3 episodes already. So, Hostage on Netflix.
Real quick, just looking here, it is a British show, but it looks like it's being produced by Netflix with Binocular Productions. So it didn't come from the BBC. This has been developed and is being produced by Netflix, but it is a UK based show, which gives you the sense that it would be a BBC show, similar to how Slow Horses, right? Slow Horses is on Apple TV. It could have, you could have said it would have come from the BBC, but no, you hire all the British people to write it, direct it, and star in it. And then you're like, man, there's something about these British spy dramas that are like good. So,
right. And it's only 5 episodes. It's tight.
Yeah.
Here it is. We're in, we're out. Story's over. I'm curious as to where it's going to go next, but it's only got 2 episodes to land the plane. So we'll see.
Yeah.
How about you?
Okay. Oh, there's a plane involved. Okay. Hey, so a running gag on here for years, going back to all the way back to high school, is making fun of the America's Cup.
Yes, it is.
Like, we're talking like 86 is when this started, 86, 87, about America's Cup. Okay, I understand. It's not for everybody. I will say that the new version, it's much better with graphics and all this stuff. Only happens every 4 years.
Have to be now, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It happens every 4 years, so it's sort of like, oh, okay. There is a series that has, I think this is their 4th or 5th season. There's something now called Sail GP. It is described as Formula One on the water. And what I will tell you is that is a complete misnomer, because Formula One wishes it was this effing exciting. So you can watch it on YouTube. They have an event around the world. So they literally are around the world. They were in New York. They were in New York Harbor, and then they were off the coast of England. They just were off the coast of Germany. They're headed to Saint-Tropez in a couple of weeks. The way this works, though, is on a weekend, on a Saturday, they do 4 races. The races are pretty short. If the wind is pretty strong, the races are about 10 minutes long per race.
Okay.
There are 12 teams. Every team is from a different country. And they're all racing on the same course at the same time. for about 10 to 12 minutes. That race gets done. They take about 5 to 8 minutes, reset, do another race. You can watch all 4 races in under 2 hours. That's on Saturday. On Sunday, they do 3 more races, and whoever the top 3 teams races the final race to declare a victory. And you get points just like in Formula One. So throughout now, what I will tell you is having 12 very, very fast sailboats with about 5 people on, I think it's a crew of 5, having 12 boats in close proximity is amazing, right? Because you don't have the problem. On Formula One, you can't pass because the road is very narrow. In sailboat racing, you just go around them. Like if you're faster, you just go around them.
There are no track limits, is what you're saying.
There are track limits, but they're very wide.
Okay.
You do have to stay within the course. Now, I also know that some people watch some of these sports, not for the racing, but for the potential or actual calamity that ensues.
Yes.
So, in the Friday practice, so they do some practice races, the Friday session to figure out which tires you want to use for the weekend, whatever. I don't know. Anyway, sales, something. Anyway, in the span of 15 seconds, 2 different boats came off the foils and plowed headfirst into the water, breaking both boats. Everybody was fine. One boat was repaired by Saturday. The other boat was damaged so much that it couldn't take part in the festivities. And everybody was like, wow, that was amazing. Aha, that was nothing. On Saturday in race 3, by the way, speeds, because the winds were pretty high, they hit a new speed record. One of the boats got to 103 kilometers per hour. That's about 65 miles an hour. On a sailboat. They were all doing close to 60 miles an hour, 12 of them racing. With sailboat racing, you've got people crossing a lot, right? Because you're on different tacks. And you got to be really, really, really careful. The American boat miscalculated and hit the Great Britain boat.
Oops.
These are catamarans. The American boat ripped off the front left of their catamaran. It just ripped it off and put about a 3-foot hole into the British boat. The Americans were done for the weekend. The British boat needed some work, and because they're all carbon fiber, it was too big for them to just patch with carbon fiber. So the Americans cut out a piece of their hull, of their good hull, and gave it to the British so that they could put it back in so they could go racing.
Since we hurt you and we can't race.
Yeah.
Here. Sorry.
I got to admit, I feel kind of responsible for this. Kind of.
Yes. Yes, you do, asshole.
We had the right of way and you smashed into us. Again, who's at fault here really doesn't matter. Anyway,
let's not talk about blame.
Yeah. Really? That was so 2 hours ago. I mean, the good news is
never mind.
Under the seat of where you were driving the boat because we put a hole in it. But anyway, that's fine. Anyway, what I would say is I think it's so you can watch them live or recorded on YouTube. I think the next one's in a couple of weeks from Saint-Tropez in the Med. This is amazing. It is really exciting. You don't have to pay attention for that long. You're like, wow, that's really, really cool. Also, unlike Formula One, you can be dead last. In the finals, there was a boat that was dead last, hundreds and hundreds of meters behind everybody. And then the wind shifted. And then they won. And the teams that were far out ahead didn't win because they were flying along and then suddenly went, oh, wind's gone. Oh, so it's not like Max just gets out in front and you never see him again. You're like, nah. One mistake and you can make up hundreds and hundreds of meters at a time. So anyway, Sail GP. Very entertaining, both from a racing standpoint and a calamity standpoint.
Okay. Okay.
I'll try to let the toddlers know when the next race is going to be on.
Okay.
And it's also better than blimp racing.
It would almost have to be now, wouldn't it?
Especially because it's not blimps. Anyway, okay. So, did you learn anything this week?
So when I went to St. Louis on Tuesday night, I was going to go over and have dinner with college friend of ours and his wife and kids, and I didn't want to show up empty-handed, so I stopped by the liquor store. What I learned is St. Louis is awash in Buffalo Trace.
Okay.
Which I am fond of, as you may or may not know. Bourbon, Buffalo Trace. I have a Buffalo Trace barrel in the basement that we had turned into a that we recorded on,
yes,
as we referenced earlier in the show. Yes. So, and they had these little baby bottles of Buffalo Trace. I'm like, oh, how cute! $16 a piece. I'll take two. So I took one to Rick, and I brought one home. And then, as I was driving north home yesterday, there's a liquor store in Hannibal that I have stopped at before and had success finding oddball stuff. And I was looking for some Schlafly beer to bring back to Amy for her birthday. Schlafly's a St. Louis brewery. They make a white ale that we really like, but you can't just buy it anywhere. So I stopped at Dirt Cheap. It's the name of the liquor store. Stopped at Dirt Cheap, and I walked in, and there was another Buffalo Trace display. And this one, they had gallon jugs of Buffalo Trace. And I went, well, I kind of need to take one of those home because I got the baby one before. So then I brought that home, and so before that, but they didn't have any Schlafly. So then I went over to Country Market just to see if the grocery store might also have it. They didn't, but they had another display of Buffalo
Trace. Yeah. Yep.
I'm like, you can't swing a dead cat in Missouri without finding a display of Buffalo Trace. I did not buy any at the Country Market, but I brought home the others and I lined them up on my Buffalo Trace barrel. And so I had the liter and the 750 and the baby one and the gallon, or maybe it's 2 liters. I don't know. Anyway, so it's like Amy comes home. She's like, why do we have Russian nesting dolls of Buffalo Trace downstairs?
What I have envisioned is the gallon, and I'm assuming it's a gallon because I don't feel like anybody in Kentucky who's at a 200-year-old distillery is talking in liters. I feel like gallons. Anyway, I feel like that's the Enterprise. And your little baby bottle is the shuttlecraft that goes that goes back and forth, right? Hey, do you need some more Buffalo Trace? Here's a little bit. I'll go back to the one and get filled up again. Oh, there's the family all lined up on the Buffalo Trace table.
Yep. So that's what I learned this week. You can buy Buffalo Trace apparently anywhere in Missouri right now. How about you?
Can you believe I have another story about our salt cell for our pool?
Honestly, yes, I can.
I know. So we get back from ToddCon, and I go out and we uncover the pool. And the good news is the salt cell has been working very well. There is a lot of chlorine in that pool, so it's fine. However, the low salt light is on.
Oh.
I'm like, that's weird, because the weird part is when you put salt in your pool, when the water evaporates, the salt doesn't go with it. So technically, once you put salt in the pool, unless you pump water out, the amount of salt stays the same. So we had elevated it and got it to the right level. How could it be low? And I'm like, but I have now learned.
Trust the light.
How do you take care of the low salt light?
Add salt.
Yep. So I added a little bit of salt. But it's like, this is 6,600 gallons. So a little bit so I added I don't know, 30 pounds of salt, something like that. Light didn't go out. All right. You know what? It's probably been about 3 months, maybe 2 months since I cleaned the salt cell. Maybe I should clean the salt cell because basically it gets a bunch of stuff on the plates.
Okay.
Reduces its capacity. So I take it and to clean it, you take it apart, you put a cap on it, and then you fill it with some diluted muriatic acid. Owning a pool is nothing but dangerous chemicals. Anyway, so you put some muriatic acid in it and you let it do its thing. And you did that for like 10 to 15 minutes. You dump it out, and then it's like, oh yeah, that did some stuff, and it really needs cleaning. And so I did it again and whatever. Anyway, I cleaned it a couple of times, put it back in. Good news. Low salt light is now off. Do you know which light is now on?
Filter replacement?
High salt. Because I had the right amount of salt and I put more salt in it. Yep. So here's what I've learned now. Order of operations is important. When the low salt light comes on, step 1, clean salt cell. First. Step 2, then add salt. Step 3, then replace the ridiculously expensive board in the system. Education is expensive.
Okay. Now.
Yeah.
Question?
Yes, you have a question. Yes, please.
How do you lower the salt content then in the water?
Excellent question.
You got to add water to dilute it.
But in order to add water to dilute it, I have to have space to add water. So
which you may or may not have.
What I need to do is put the sump pump that I've got, which I use when if it rains and it fills it up too high, I've got a sump pump to get water out so it doesn't go over the edge, which would then go underneath the concrete. So, which is how it gets diluted at times, right? If it rains too much, pump some water out, whatever. So in order to reduce the salt level, I now need to, in the middle of a ridiculously hot summer, pump water out of the pool and then fill it with water that doesn't have salt in it, and hopefully figure out how much water to take out versus put back in. Yep.
I can tell you I am never owning a pool. Ever.
What if I told you that swim spas are even more work than pools?
I would absolutely believe you. The music is Happy Boy by Kevin MacLeod. You can subscribe to our award-winning podcast with visiting salt expert Todd Prince. Wherever you get your pods, just search Talkin' in the number 2. There's no G and there's no salt. No, wait. That's wrong. There's plenty of salt. You can stop by and see us at the Tuba City home office. Please don't do that. And thanks to our listeners, our sponsors, and our contributors. We appreciate you. And you can send us your feedback on this episode or any episode to feedback@talkingtotodd.com. Todd?
Would you be surprised to learn that Wingfoot 1 was originally called Flugelfuß 1 when it was manufactured?
Now you're just making shit up.
You would be surprised because it wasn't called that. But if you did want to put a German name on it, Google Gemini says it actually doesn't translate into German, but wing and foot separately would be Flügel and Fuß. Flügel and Fuß. So therefore, technically it says in German it would be called Wingfoot 1. But Flugelfuß 1. That just rolls. Can you possibly imagine, though, at a NASCAR race when they're like, oh, and take a look, there's the Goodyear blimp, Flugelfuß 1. Be the last time that German blimps would be flying over a NASCAR race, I can tell you that.
I can take that down. Boom!
You know what they would be going is, haha, We're semi-rigid. You're going to take more. Oh, you've got more. You've got more. Okay, we're leaving. We're leaving.
Very slowly. We're leaving very slowly.
For it. I am. Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
Why did they use these things in war? Anyway.
Hopefully we won't have anything to clean up next week, but I'm pretty sure we will. Until then, we're here. We'll be back. We're talking to Todd.
At a minimum, we're going to have to discuss the cease and desist letter we're going to be getting from Goodyear.
Hopefully it doesn't come in German.
Yeah, if we're allowed.